So the older men at the construction job I was working at actually scared me a lot more than the job itself. And when I was working there, it was about 5 years ago. It was during the pandemic. Those guys didn't really care about all the pandemic and the rules, so we would just go on site and keep working anyway. And being somebody from a background of computers, and at the time I was into science and going into pre-med, I was actually, thinking, hey, construction would be cool. It'll toughen you up and everything, and you just get to see how that side of life works. And it was actually a really good experience just to see how the world is built, literally built physically, how houses are built, how everything's maintained, and of course pick up a couple of skills while you're at it so you're able to fix things in your own house. That part's amazing. Now, what's completely on the other side is the fact that, all right, I see these men, some of them are 40, 50 years old. I'm 20. I wake up every day, I go to work, it's full time, and at the time it was also good money because although I was in university, I was able to pay for my schooling because I was able to make about 20 bucks an hour after tax, so that was pretty decent, better than working a minimum wage job. And I thought, all right, well, I wake up every day, I go to work, and I can recover. That's the biggest thing. I can recover. And on top of that, I was still hitting the gym after a construction shift. So those shifts could be anywhere from 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours long. And going to the gym after was pretty difficult because you have no energy left. But despite the fact I still did it, and the next day, I'm fresh. Like I was born again, as if nothing happened the day before. I just continued working and thought nothing of it. Only maybe for the first 2-3 months, the body was adapting and I had a lot of back pain and just arms and hands pain, but that all went away immediately, like very quickly. But the other thing that I noticed, well, on the same topic, is the fact that your body keeps score as you age, essentially of what you did the night before or the week before. So those men who are in their 40s, they never recover. They've put in the hard work. They're really hardworking guys. They're not lazy. They're not unhealthy by any means. Some of them are. Some of them drink Red Bull all day and smoke weed before the shift starts. But whatever. For the most part, they're pretty healthy. You'd think, hey, look, construction is physical, so they're getting some like a workout in. But it's not like that at all because construction work doesn't necessarily, it's not like a workout where it grows and builds your muscles. It mostly makes your joints, tendons, and everything inflamed and over time stronger, but not in a good way because all these joints and everything start hurting. And working with these older men, they were complaining about these things all the time. Like their back is permanently injured, like just hurting forever. Their arms, their hands, anything you can think of was in pain. And it's not because of some big injury they underwent at some point. It's just years and years of construction work lead to this. They're never able to fully recover. And a lot of them had like bad necks, maybe even shoulder issues, wrists especially. Think about that. Every time you're swinging a hammer, all the shock and the force goes back into your hand, and usually the weak point is it's your wrist, right? And thinking of all of that, all right, so these guys can't recover, and they're already thinking of how else can they make money and work while not damaging their bodies further, because some of them were in their 50s and they're like, you're lucky you're young, dude, but I'm 50 and I can't do this anymore. Like, my body's done. It's giving out. So many of them also had these coughs, the cough that never goes away. And some of them were smokers, sure. But a lot of them, you're just breathing dust all day. And, well, some people may think, all right, well, why don't you just wear a mask, a respirator? Those are available. Most of the time, you're not going to be wearing any respirators because it's impossible. It's hot, you can't breathe in them, and it's just a pain in the ass. Like, obviously, you'll be reducing your quality of life at work by wearing all sorts of gear. Try wearing goggles and respirators at the same time, which you should be wearing. It's just really, really annoying, and that's what I was doing. I was wearing a headset for my hearing with noise canceling. I was wearing goggles, and I was wearing a mask or some kind of face protection. And really, I only wore that stuff when I absolutely had to. Like I was sanding something, or it was just, sawing, whatever, puts you at risk. And other than that, I couldn't wait to take all that stuff off because your face is sweating into itself and it's just the worst feeling ever. And one thing that I learned from them is they're really smart with how they use their bodies. Of course, they learned by the time they were older. When I would just prefer to pick something up and carry it and be like, that's just how you do it, right? I'm going to pick something up and carry it over. They're like, no, 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 put it down. Put it down. It's okay. We'll load this up on a cart and or a dolly, and we're gonna wheel it over. And I thought, what the hell? Like, we're all strong enough to pick it up. It's faster. They're like, no, 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 no. Just spare your body. Don't overdo it. Don't. And I thought, these are just old men. Maybe they just don't want to be carrying shit anymore. But really, it's because they've learned there's absolutely no sense in trying to rush something and end up with more pain that you're already in. So yeah, that had a huge impact on my future, because although I was not looking to get into construction, I thought very much that, hey, if all comes to worse, I can always, open up a construction company or take on projects by myself, renovations, whatever. But that's always like a back burner option. But the only thing is that the longer I worked there, the less I wanted to do anything else, because it just kind of sucks you into that lifestyle where you're bringing in pretty good money, you have a lot of shifts, and when you're young, you have so much unlimited energy. I could work all day, every day, 7 days a week. I did not care. And with that, as a 20-year-old guy making 4, 5, 6,000 a month, it was super nice. You're just thinking, holy shit, like, you feel rich. You're 20 years old, you can pay for school, your car, your anything else, basically, go on trips and all, and thinking, hey, I could just continue this, and that's that. But the only thing is, seeing those older men is the biggest, it's like the biggest, what do you call that? Like, life event. Life prediction. This is what your life is going to look like in 30 years from now if you keep doing this. That's essentially what I'm trying to say. And I thought, there's no way I can end up like that. And not because these guys are bad or anything. It's just because this is not how I see my life working out at all. And you're basically giving away your health to build something for society. No matter how much protection you use for, safety gear, no matter how hard you try to lift this heavy object properly with a straight back and, squat down, no matter how much you do that, there's no actual safe way to do any of this stuff, because sooner or later you're going to get injuries and your body will get tired. And speaking of injuries, whenever you're sawing, like let's say there's a miter saw, the one you bring down, and you need to cut something really small, these guys put their fingers basically a centimeter away from the saw blade. And I just sit there thinking, damn, like, you're gonna lose your finger at one point. And I'm surprised most of them haven't. And I found myself doing the same thing. I thought, it's a pain to like cut this piece out any other way. I'm just gonna bring my fingers close and just hold really tightly and cut it. And after doing that more and more, I just thought, if I keep doing this, the chances of me losing fingers is like 100%. I just don't know when. Because as you all know, these saws, they can either jam, or the material you're cutting might be hard in a spot, and so what it does is it pulls it in. So you could literally have your hand pulled in and just sliced instantly, right? And the same thing happens if it can shoot it the other way. So all these random injuries can occur, and I just thought, like, that's not really what I want to do. And to those guys that do it, like, all the best to you. That's amazing. Somebody needs to do it. I don't think robots or AI is going to replace building and construction anytime soon. And what's funny is that's the first job they should replace, because it is so damn bad for your health. Like, if they're developing robots and AI to do things, the first thing they should be doing is building houses, because humans shouldn't have to throw their lives and health away to do that. Because for every house that's standing there, people have not just given their lives, but I'm not saying every project is a bridge where 200 people die or something. In general, people are spending their health. Like, if you guys play video games and you have health points like HP, you're literally just like reducing your health for no reason or for some money. And honestly, that's the biggest lesson it taught me, and the fact that I should just really figure out a way to make money in other ways. Now, to this day, I'm not against doing some work around the house. If I see something needs to be patched up, something replaced, I can do it no problem. And that's the best thing, having these skills. And maybe if you need to get if you need to get work done in your house, you're not going to get scammed by the contractor you're hiring. So that's always good. But overall, to do that on a daily basis, that's just not something I think is good for your health. That's all it is. As much as it's needed, it still is not good for you. Yep, so thanks for watching. That's everything.